Hey, welcome to Geek Speak 21.
21 is 21 already.
Yeah, it's 21. So
Wow.
what do you want to talk about, brother?
So a friend of mine, and I don't randomly have people bring up stuff to me, but they were concerned about, they heard a rumor that Cartoon Network was going to be shutting down.
Yeah.
So I actually looked into it and found out that the whole rumor started because Warner Brothers, who runs it now, laid off like 25% of Cartoon Network's workforce.
Yeah. So
And
they're definitely downsizing.
Yeah, it
anyway.
kind of scared them a bit. So, but Warner Brothers is assuring that Cartoon Network isn't going away, that they're still doing their Warner Brothers thing, their Cartoon Network things, their Hanna-Barbera things, and that they're not going anywhere soon.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's also was rumored that if it doesn't go away, that it's a possibility it might go to a streaming service like HBO Max or something like that, which would be crappy because, I mean, there's not too many places to where you can still go see animation for free.
Right.
I mean, most people, I know most younger people go to places like Crunchyroll and things like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a concern, but I don't know. Everything has to do with money nowadays.
Oh, sure. It's tight. Money's tight for everybody.
So, that was just one thing that popped in my head, and I had to look into. And I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I mean, they've still got a lot of popular shows and stuff.
Well, speaking of money, do you have $1?
Not on me.
Oh, well, you owe me $1 because the Marvels came out, and and I told you it would flop, and you said it, from looking at the trailer, it looked interesting to you. Well, it's the lowest opening of any Marvel movie, and the lowest grossing of any Marvel movie, and of course it's still making money, but they say they hope to only lose $100 million when it's over with. And so
$101.
yeah, so men, they're trying to turn Marvel into, I think they're trying to turn Marvel into a girls brand.
I think it's Disney in general.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that men typically are what bought comic books. Men are typically what drove MCU. Not saying there aren't female fans,
right?
But you can't base your business on those female fans. And if there was that many female fans and they had came out to see the Marvels, it would have made money because half the population is female. So, but the fact is that who would ever thought, okay, I'm going to spend $250, $300 million on making a movie and advertising it, marketing and everything, and then pick the Marvels. Who would do that? I mean, there's so many other stories that could be told. But anyway, the important thing is you owe me $1. So, what else you want to talk about, brother?
Dude, did you see the? I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of it, where Ralph Macchio has got together with Jackie Chan, and they're literally casting for like a new actor to play in the next Karate Kid movie. They're actually going to do a movie together.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Is it because it's kind of like two universes?
No, I mean, I like the Karate Kid movies. In fact, we have two old geeks talking on Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai, and so I'm a big fan of that. But the Jackie Chan remake was an irritation all the way around. First of all, it wasn't karate; it was kung fu. But yet they just called it the Karate Kid simply because they wanted to play on what was before. So having Jackie Chan, who does kung fu, and Ralph Macchio, who does karate. I mean, could it be good if it was well written? Certainly, if they get the people that's writing Cobra Kai, which that show is phenomenal so far, then it could be good.
Who was the young actor in the Jackie Chan's version?
It was Will Smith's
That's
son.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I mean,
why wouldn't you bring him back?
First of all, you need to stay away from that. They need to stay away from that. That movie didn't do well, and it wasn't a very good movie. Even if you just take out the fact that it's called Karate Kid and they were doing kung fu, all you did was irritate every martial artist out there by doing that. I mean, there was just call it the Kung Fu Kid. Well, that would have been hard.
Yeah,
that would have been hard.
Okay.
And so Daredevil. I'm a big Daredevil fan.
Okay.
And so Disney is making Daredevil Born Again. You know, the 3 seasons of Daredevil that was on Netflix is some of the best live action Marvel that you can come across. So Disney is got those rights back for Daredevil. And so they're going to make their own Daredevil series. Going to have Charlie Cox in it. It's called Born Again, and it's going to be 16 episodes. Well, they were 8 episodes in, so you get 8 of the 6 in. You're halfway there.
In the can.
In the can. Come in and looked at them, scrapped every one of them, fired the writers, fired the director. Going to start over. That's how bad it was, and this is the reason being. Normally they would have just put that out there. And the reason they're not doing it now is because of things like we talked about earlier, the Marvels. Ant-Man and several of those movies have lost millions. Right. Well, you can only do that so long. I mean, you can, every company has wins and every company has losses, but you can't consecutively get hit financially. So they went in and scrapped it all. They're going to start all over.
So do you think the age of superhero movies are coming to an end?
Yes, yeah, I think it peaked out with Endgame, and I think that some people say it's oversaturation, but a good story is a good story.
Right.
So westerns haven't been out forever, and westerns haven't been popular forever. The other day I watched one called O. Henry, and it was a great western. Well, just because it was good acting and well written, so you can do a well written, well acted superhero movie from now to the end of the time. But what happens is that they're under the impression that I bought this IP, it's popular, I'm just going to put out whatever, and all the fans are just going to gobble it up. And a lot of times they don't know the subject matter, and they've done it with lots of franchises. But I just thought it was surprising that they would scrap 8 hours worth of a show and start completely over. Did you know the highest? You know the DC movie that's made the most in the last year? The Batgirl series, the Batwoman series, the movie that they canceled.
Now, how did it make money?
Because it didn't make money. They already spent $100 million on it, but they lost more than $100 million on all the ones they finished. So they actually did better on the movie they didn't make. DC did than the movies they did make. So Marvel and DC.
So basically, it's
Disney,
a race to see who's going to lose the least.
Yeah,
amount
Disney
of money.
and Warner Brothers, they're scrambling. They are stockholders are going crazy, and they're trying to correct. They're trying to correct the course. So anyway, what's next, brother?
Okay, last thing I got is you always do like a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Recommendation. Well, with the holidays right around the corner, I thought I'd throw some ideas for those people who have geeks as loved ones. You always got an adult geek, and unless you really, really know the person and really know their collection, you don't know what to get.
You just can't get them anything.
You can't just get them anything. So I've come up with a few ideals, and it really doesn't fit all geeks. But you can't go wrong if you get at least one of the 4 things I'm going to mention. One is Magic the Gathering has come out with different card games, new card games. One was Doctor Who. Recently bought that for my daughter.
Yeah. Are you just telling people what you want for Christmas?
Yeah, no. But they have also come out with a Lord of the Rings version of it.
Yeah, so you're just telling people what I want for Christmas?
Yeah. The next thing is Capcom. They've really made it really affordable for you to get like those full-size arcade things like we did when we grew up.
Yeah, yeah.
So Capcom came out with one, and coming out with one, and it's got like Street Fighter 1, 2, like 3 other games on one thing. I mean, how badass would that be? Having like a
that's
geek
cool.
group?
That's cool.
The next thing is they're coming out with a gold edition of Iron Giant. They're going to re-release the movie.
Yeah.
They're going to have 5 artist cards. They're going to have an artist book with all the art, back art log from it.
Yeah.
And you actually get a letter from the director. Let me see if I can remember what his name is. I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget it because I'm old. Brad Bird.
Yeah.
So he wrote a letter just to go in there. So it's like a box set of all these giant Iron Giant goodies. So
Yeah.
that's something. Now the last one, I know this one will be for you. This would be your Christmas
All right.
gift. So they are re-releasing on Blu-ray all 6 of Lone Wolf and Cub movies.
Oh yeah.
With all these back interviews, documentaries, and it comes with a booklet, and so it's like 8 hours and 26 minutes of just
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, I
just
like
body
that.
count after body count
Yeah.
after body count.
Cool. Cool. I wouldn't like I love Lord of the Rings, but like that Lord of the Rings card game, I heard about that. They made Aragorn black in the Lord of the
did
Rings
they?
card game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, diversity. Yeah. In the future, moving forward, Robert's going to be a
Right.
person of color. That way we can
From
we can
this
we
moment
can we
on,
can
I'll
we
be
can
played by LeVar Burton.
yeah, right. So we can get our diversity. But anyway, so we had a subscriber named John Smith,
Okay.
and
Is that his real name?
I didn't ask him.
Oh.
You know, his business is his business. I try to stay out of it. But he wanted us to talk about the Phantom.
Okay.
And so the Phantom started out as a 1939 comic strip.
Right.
And so and he was one of the first superheroes, and that wore like a skin tight outfit.
Right.
You know, it was all purple, and he wore a mask. And there'd been several Phantoms throughout history, and he was like the 20th
I actually
Phantom.
had a Fathom action figure.
Oh, Phantom action figure?
Yeah.
So, you know, they had the old Phantom movie. It come out in 96. It was called with Billy Zane, and I watched it. And the Phantom didn't have superpowers. You know, he carried 245s.
Did he have a ring that gave him some kind of
No,
ability?
no, he had no
okay.
power. He had a ring with a skull on it, but he was a kind of an Indiana Jones type character,
Right.
and he didn't have any powers other than the 45s, which proves that if you have 245s, they really don't need superpowers. But the fact that there've been so many throughout the generations, that's the reason the myth come out that he couldn't die.
Oh, okay.
And so he was called the Ghost That Walks. And so he's real popular. I never was into him. I thought he looked like Grimace, who'd gone and joined a CrossFit gym.
Right.
You know, he didn't do nothing for me. But the generation of geeks that are older than us, the people that grew up reading those 1930 comic strips, or was into the 50s serials and stuff like that.
He didn't go through no updates.
No, whenever the movie come out in '96, a lot of old geeks. Now I'm talking people in their 70s and 80s. I mean, they were just crazy over finally seeing a live action Phantom, and they really it really satisfied them. But for me, I'd say the movie on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the comic strips didn't do too much for me. But the fact that some people like that, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Anything else? Got one other thing. Let's see. I have a comic book recommendation.
There you go.
So there's a French comic called The Killer, and there's been several volumes of it, and I've collected it over the years. And so it's not for everybody. The art in it is fantastic, and it follows the story of a contract killer, a hitman, and it's very methodical. So majority of the comic is internal narration. He's thinking inside of his own head. And so the first few I really, really liked. After that, you can only rehash so much of what a contract killer thinks inside of his head. So the author started talking about his worldview on politics. He's very nihilistic, kind of a negative personality on the way he looks at everything. And so I'm more positive, and it's a little bit of a downer there. But I've always enjoyed a good Hitman movie, and there's not too many Hitman comics out there.
I mean, if you're a hitman and you have a love for life, you're probably not going to want to take it away.
Yeah, but I mean, it's worth reading. This is like the 5th volume that they come out with, and a company called Archaea, a comic book company, translates them from French over to English, and Netflix just recently made a movie with Michael Fassbender, who played Magneto in the new X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called The Killer. And it's based on this comic. It's just a movie, standalone movie. And some people are loving it. Some people are hating it. I haven't got a chance to see it. By the time this airs, I will have watched it. And I may post a little comment. about whether I liked it or not and rate it. But comics, worth picking up. Perfect timing, brother.
Right.
All right, man. You done?
I'm done.
All right, we're done.